G'day cocktail lovers. I felt compelled to do some more experimenting with milk clarified cocktails. And this is getting a bit involved, this video, because it's a double, triple experiment, because I'm experimenting with 3 types of milk and I'm doing it 2 different ways in each case to effectively come up with 6 milk clarified cocktails. I'm testing 2 different things. First, how much difference does different milk products make, and how much difference does it make if you leave it to settle for an hour or so, or if you leave it for 24 hours? Because you will find a lot of guides online that say you have to leave a milk clarified drink for 24 hours or so, or you won't get a good result. Now, I've found repeatedly that this isn't the case, but I don't mind testing a hypothesis again, so I'm going to do that. Also, somewhat inspired by a recent video from Greg from How to Drink about how if you follow the last word template, just mixing up the ingredients, you're almost always going to get a good result. I'm actually creating 3 cocktails. And for fun, they're going to be 3 brightly colored cocktails, and they will be different colors. If you're unfamiliar with the last word, it's equal parts gin, green chartreuse, maraschino liqueur, and lime juice. So the idea of following that template, and there are so many riffs of this in the wild, is if you make a drink that has a base spirit, a herbal element, a sweet liqueur, and a citrus element, you're almost definitely going to get a good drink. And that's what I've done. First up is my blue drink, which I'm going to clarify with almond milk. One for all you lactose intolerant and or vegan folk out there. The base spirit for this is going to be tequila, which makes this arguably mutant offspring of a last word and a margarita. Maybe I'll call it Margarita's word. Here's how I made it. I did 1 ounce of Blanco tequila, 1 ounce of green chartreuse, and then added 1 ounce of blue curacao and 1 ounce of lime juice. Then I added that mix to 1 ounce of milk, and we leave it to separate. Of course, I did it twice. One I left for a day, and then when the day was up, I made another one that I just let sit for an hour or so. Second comes the green cocktail, which I'm going to clarify with dairy milk. This is the closest to a last word with only 1 change. So the base element in this is gin, and we start with 1 ounce 30 mils of gin, then 1 ounce or 30 mils of green chartreuse, 1 ounce or 30 mils of creme de menthe, and finally 1 ounce 30 mils of lemon juice. Then I add that to 1 ounce of dairy milk, and we're going to leave that to separate. Finally, my red drink, and I'm going to use cream of coconut I made as the clarifying agent in this. And because I'm using cream of coconut, I thought I'll use rum as the base. To make this one, it's 1 ounce 30 mils of white rum, 1 ounce or 30 mils of strawberry liqueur, follow that with 1 ounce or 30 mils of a bittersweet red aperitivo, and finally 1 ounce or 30 mils of lemon juice. Add that to 1 ounce of cream of coconut, give a little bit of a stir, and we're going to leave that to separate as well. After all the waiting and filtering, I got my results, and I'll tell you, there are a couple of surprises, and one of which I don't quite understand, and I'll explain that to you as I go through and do the comparisons. If you want my top tip out of this, don't use cream of coconut if you're doing milk clarification. I've used it multiple times. Sometimes it's trouble-free. Often it weirdly causes me problems. It caused me problems. I had to redo it. It's a real pain in the ass. From what I read online, if you're doing it with coconut, coconut cream is the best option. It's better than coconut milk, and from my experience, it's better than cream of coconut. But that's what I had, and I thought I'd use it. Live and learn! For a comparison, first up I'm going with my red drink, the one that was made with the cream of coconut, and this has one of my biggest surprises, namely, there is no red at all left in it. But in line with this being difficult, the one that I'm not sure how well this is showing up on camera, but this is the one that I just left for an hour or so. This is the one that was for 24 hours. This is much more cloudy. I haven't got the same level of filtration. The overnight one, the 24-hour one, has pretty good filtration. It's quite nice and clear. I mean, this is pretty good. Again, it's absolutely surreal to me. These were red before I ran them through, and there's really no trace of red. I want to know also, is there much difference in the taste? So, tasting the 1 hour one, man, that is a pretty nice drink. All the flavors of the things that went in are still there. They've been softened and blended. The citrus in particular is coming through quite strongly there. How different is the one that was there for 24 hours? That's interesting. The citrus doesn't have such a stranglehold on this. There's a really noticeably different taste. So I'll throw one more tip. If you're ever planning on using coconut milk, coconut cream for clarification, definitely leave it for 24 hours. With dairy milk, I often say that's not necessary, but I have certainly gotten noticeably better results using coconut products every time I've left it for a day or so. So, lesson number one. Second, let's go the green drink, the minty one. Visually, there is a very pale green in both of these. I don't really see any difference color-wise in the two. This is the 1 hour, this is the 24 hours. I'll taste the 1 hour first. Creme de menthe is a strong flavour. It's still coming through quite strongly. For comparison, tasting the 24-hour one, not such a big difference between these two. It's interesting, the first one, citrus was dominating. This one, creme de menthe, is dominating. It's maybe been a little more reined in the 24-hour one. Still tastes a bit like I'm drinking toothpaste, but not in a bad way. If you like creme de menthe, you'll probably definitely want to try one of these. It might benefit from being let sit 24 hours, slightly reining the creme de menthe in. Now we get to the blue drink, which was clarified in almond milk, and this is the weirdest part of the experiment for me. This is the one that was left sit for 24 hours, and this is the one that was left for about an hour. And the one that was there for 24 hours has much more blue colour in it than the shorter one, which doesn't make sense to me. I can only think of two possible explanations. One, I accidentally mixed them up, and this is the short one and this is the long one. I don't think I mixed them up, but obviously that's possible, and obviously that would make sense. The other possibility is it's just random. For whatever reason, the elements reacted differently one time to the other. I honestly don't know. Maybe I'll have to do the experiment again. But again, taste-wise, with my theory, this is the one that was there for 24 hours. This is the one that was there for 1 hour. Now, because this is usually the lighter flavour, I'm going to try it first. That's nice. It's still got the tequila in there, and the lime is coming through quite strongly as well. Tequila comes through first, then the lime. Now, the one that I think was only left there for an hour or so. Same deal. The tequila champion is coming through, and then the lime, again, possibly subdued, which would also back up that I mixed them up and this had been going for 24 hours, which has subdued the citrus flavour a bit. I guess I'll have to do the experiment again. So the key discoveries of my experiment: while leaving a clarified cocktail to sit for longer, say 24 hours, can make a small difference. I don't think it makes a huge difference. If you have the time, do it. But if you can't be bothered waiting that long, just leave it, an hour or so until the separation is happening. Also, dairy and almond milk work equally well. I didn't get a really distinct flavour change in either of them. Admittedly, it was different drinks, so I wasn't comparing one for one, but I didn't taste one and go, ooh, that's dairy, ooh, that's almond. It was just the drink was coming through in both cases. Because I don't get bored with doing these experiments, I probably will do a variation of this in the future. I'm thinking what I will do is try and be clearer on the difference in the clarifying milks. Do they change the flavour very much? So I'll probably actually go with the base cocktail unclarified, then a version clarified with dairy, a version clarified with almond, and if I want to punish myself, I might do a version clarified with coconut milk as well. In fact, I might actually do my favourite, which is kind of a hybrid of a pina colada and a painkiller. Actually, it's more like a painkiller, if I'm very honest, and I should thank the commenter who pointed that out to me. I changed the pina colada recipe so much it was basically a painkiller. Pina colada's better marketing, so I might do that in the future. I hope you found that useful. You can definitely use the different types of milks. They all work. They have different results. You can wait 24 hours and you might be able to tell the difference compared to if you just waited for 1 hour, but I don't think it's a huge difference. And also, following that last word template makes for some interesting drinks. I have quite a few of these to go now, so I might toddle off and sit down before I fall down. And I hope you're taking care wherever you are, and I hope to see you again soon. Until I do see you, I will say cheers.